candle down by the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long, hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down by the dip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone, but the shorts we're going long. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, buy a share. A green candle up, a red candle down by the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long, hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down by the dip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone, but the shorts we're going long. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, buy a share. A green candle up, a red candle down by the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long, hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down by the dip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone, but the shorts we're going long. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, buy a share. Green candle up and red candle down by the dip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone. GameStop's rising, going strong. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, show you care. A green candle up, a red candle down by the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long, hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down by the dip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone, but the shorts we're going long. A green candle up, a red candle down by the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long, hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down by the dip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone, but the shorts we're going long. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, buy a share. A green candle up, a red candle down by the dip, gotta hold our ground. Keep the waiting for so long, hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down by the dip, gotta hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone, but the shorts we're going long. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, buy a share.
Go. Good morning. Happy Thursday, August 7th. The markets are open. How y'all doing this morning? Couple of earnings to talk about this morning. Some news, some political tariff news, some Trumpy Intel news. We'll get into all of that. Let's take a quick look here at how we're opening up. Green, green, green. Love it. And looking at some headlines on CNBC, I'll do the refresh here. Oil's basically flat, gold at 34.59, silver 38.59, up almost 2%. All right, Bitcoin moving back up, 116.5. Pete, good morning to you. We're going to get into a couple of these earnings. The one I'm really, there's all these corner case stocks. I'm not necessarily invested in them, but I am very interested in following the success of these companies or the failure, depending on what it ends up being. JOBY Aviation is one that we're going to get into this morning. They reported earnings yesterday after market close. I got down a rabbit hole going through Quantum's 10Q or whatever you want to call it, 6F yesterday. If you're in the Discord, you know what I'm talking about. I was going to make a video on it yesterday, and then by the time I was ready, I had all my I's dotted and my T's crossed on the error that I found. Some other smart people on Twitter were already talking about it. I was like, it's not worth making a video over. Let's just give the stock promoters a chance to issue a correction. I don't think that they have this morning, but if I have time to make a video and they haven't issued a correction, I'll get into it later, but it's not that big a deal. It's not a math problem. It was a touting problem. Tout, T-O-U-T. Touting incorrect information summarized by ChatGPT. Not the biggest transgression in the world. ChatGPT makes financial analysis mistakes all the time, guys. If you're one of those people that is just running off of social media, getting your info from people's ChatGPT summaries, and you don't know what you're looking at, it can be a problem. I'm just telling you. I use the AI a lot, but you have to know what you're looking at to see when it makes mistakes. I catch it in mistakes all the time. Intel shares drop after Trump calls for the CEO to resign immediately. In a Truth Social post, Trump said Intel chief executive Lip Bhutan is highly conflicted and must resign immediately. There is no other solution to this problem. Tom Cotton, Republican from Arkansas, questioned Tan's ties to Chinese companies in a reference to past criminal case involving Cadence Design. This headline today is the first I'm hearing of this. I don't know about any alleged ties to China, but I'm very curious to see where this takes us down the rabbit hole. Intel being a stock that I watch and track, looking from time to time for intelligent entries. A game of patience with Intel. It's not the favored stock right now. And maybe if they're getting beat up here, maybe they get my interest again as a beat up value play. We'll see. I haven't made up my mind yet. UK Dave, good morning. Tish, good morning. Quantum. Yeah. Quantum's, I don't have anything bad to say about Quantum's earnings. Maybe we'll get into that later. I don't really want to get into that this morning. It's a pre-revenue company. It is what it is, guys. If you're gambling in pre-revenue companies, you know the deal, hopefully. When you don't have revenue, what follows if you hold the stock long enough? I'm not saying dilution imminent tomorrow. I can't ever tell for sure. You'd need to go in and analyze their cash burn. But they got cash. They got, I think, another 5 million in Bitcoin. So with all these companies, if I was a manager, if I was a CFO, I'd want to push that stock price up and then have warrants exercised. We saw a lot of that with Quantum. That brings in money to the company. Also slightly dilutes the float. And maybe you sell some more debt, maybe you sell some more shares. Now, I heard them say that they have no more scheduled dilution through the end of this year, and I'll take them at their word on that. Just play them smart when you're playing non-revenue companies. Understand what that means. I would never try and talk anybody out of a trade. You guys do whatever you want. Doesn't hurt my feelings one bit. What hurts me when I see people crying, I lost all my money and no one told me that there was risk in this play. No one told me that this non-revenue company running up from $5 to $40 was risky. Nice little move up on earnings this morning on Quantum, up almost 15%. Hoorah! Very nice. Very nice for the traders. Back to Intel, though. Mr. Tan was named as the Intel CEO in March as the chip maker tried to rebound from declining sales under the stewardship of Pat Gelsinger. What is he highly conflicted about, Mr. Trump? Tom Cotton writing to Intel's chair to express concern about the security and integrity of Intel's operations and its potential impacts on U.S. national security. Mr. Tan's associations raised questions about Intel's ability to fulfill these obligations. Ooh. Tan has invested in a number of Chinese companies, including some linked to the country's military, both directly or, well, you know, maybe not the ideal optics for a semiconductor CEO. I don't know. I haven't looked into this guy deeply, so I'm not going to make any sweeping decisions this early. Tan announced cuts to the company's foundry division, canceled planned fab projects in Germany and Poland, and consolidated testing. Well, there's a lot for me to go in and catch up in Intel here. We got Trump in the news the other day, too, about claiming he was rejected as a customer by the Bank of America. A lot of Trump politics, news, and social media these past couple days. What the world's biggest chip makers are doing to stave off Trump's tariffs. %100 tariff on chips imported into the U.S. What is that? How does that affect Taiwan? Major chip firms from TSMC to NVIDIA have pledged billions of dollars of investment in the U.S., which investors think might help them mitigate the worst of the new tariffs. Trump said if the companies are building in the U.S. or have committed to build without question, then there will be no charge. I get it. I get the whole wanting to go overseas to build semiconductors for cost, but it is concerning to me, maybe to you guys too, certainly to, I think, smart people in politics, to not have semiconductor production in the U.S. Were things to go south socio-politically, war, etc., or just having other countries having that much control over your destiny. I'd like to see some production come back into the U.S., but then, you know, you got that cost issue of building in the U.S. How do you navigate all that? Dave says, what are my thoughts on United Healthcare for the long term? You know, it's been one that I haven't spent a lot of time analyzing, Dave, so I'm probably not the best person to ask. I wish I've just had an opinion at the ready for you on everything at the drop of a hat, but I try not to opine if I haven't looked into it a little bit. Because I hate being wrong, Dave. I hate being wrong. I try and formulate my opinions around fact and some personal belief. And, you know, if you haven't researched a company or everything that's going on, I think it's better just to remain silent until you've spent the time digging enough to formulate an intelligent opinion. I'm not a big fan of social media opinions. You know the one I'm talking about? One day somebody's an expert on plane crashes. The next day they're an expert on viruses, then UFOs. That's not me. I'll sit back and open my popcorn and read all of it and try and take it all in, but you're not going to catch me weighing in on all that stuff. It's got to be something deeply personal to me and something that I've actually spent some time formulating some fact-based opinion on. All right. Do we have any other headlines we want to talk about here? I am curious on these TSMC pledge to build in the U.S. What kind of timeline are we talking about? I don't know the answer to that. They have an ongoing, apparently $65 billion investment in Phoenix, Arizona. Fresh $100 billion announced in March. Samsung is just right down the road from me. They have chip making facilities in Texas. I can't remember if I've been inside that facility. I was in the tech world for a while. I can't remember. I've been to so many factories around the world. I think the Samsung factory I went to was maybe a LCD factory in Korea. I have been in a silicon factory. That's why I'm confused. I can't remember if it was in Asia or the one here in Texas. Anyways, we had to suit up. I was not in semiconductor manufacturing. I was in high tech. But it's an interesting little corner of the tech world. Global Foundries, U.S. headquartered, saw a surge in share price, nearly 10% in pre-market today. They have a manufacturing footprint in the U.S., but it does not make cutting-edge chips like TSMC. Speaking of chips, what's up with our good friends Wolf? Wolf. $1.56. They're hanging in there around $1.50. I need to go catch up on if there's any bankruptcy updates on this. I'm not in the trade. Not advocating you get in the trade. A lot of people like to trade bankruptcy stocks. This will be one that emerges from bankruptcy with an uncertain outcome for common, which is why I'm following it. I mean, we don't get to see these too often. I know the Bed Bath & Beyond people think they're going to emerge with something. I say no. I do have an opinion on that. I think that they are going to get nothing, including the ones that are still buying bonds. Buying bonds of a bankrupt company. Ouch. But like Hertz, we played Hertz back in the day when they had a path to coming out of Chapter 11. We talked about that back then. I'm not against bankruptcy plays. I'm against bad DD and throwing your money into a fire pit. But Wolf, for the speculator, it's going to come out at the end of the tunnel with something. I just can't tell you. I think, what did I say between when I did my first analysis? I think I said between 50 cents and $1, depending on what the company got valued at. So kind of curious to see how it all plays out, and I'm not following it every day. Let's look at some of our earnings tickers. We got DraftKings up this morning, up almost 1.5%, 2%. JOBY Aviation is down 2.5% on their earnings news. Eli Lilly and Co. down 13.5%. Ouch. Oh, man. That's a big spanking. And Sony had earnings. They are up almost 7%. Looking at our meme stocks, memes. Oh, did we have Aspen earnings too? Wow, beautiful. We never gave up hope on Aspen. We knew it got beat down, but it never turned into a pile of dog shit. It got beat down because we failed to consider the impact of how the market would react to Trump in the EV sector. But the company at its root it's not a piece of crap. So good to see Aspen this morning back up 14.5%. Very nice. Some of us were buying on that sick dip last quarter. Nice little recovery there. Meme stocks, AMC in the green this morning, up 1.25%. All the cinema stocks in the green today. And I updated my box office outlook for Q3 for August and September. I haven't published it because my mom always said, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all. I did talk about it in the Discord a little bit, but in YouTube and social media, mum's the word. I'm a little bit worried about August and September, but I remain hopeful. And what am I worried about? Lack of compelling titles to get us through the remainder of Q3. That's all I'm going to say. Go see some movies, buy some popcorn, do your part. New Eminem movie out. What's it called? Stan? That one's on my short list. GameStop, bottom left here this morning. It's just been hanging, just been chilling down there around 22, 23 bucks. Flat this morning. GNS is down 1%. They had a nice little run yesterday. These are our little meme stocks. I'm not promoting these stocks. I'm just covering them because a lot of people that I follow and that I chat with trade these stocks. I said last week that I would be interested in taking a swing, just a momentum trade. That there's nothing compelling about GNS financials, right? Let's get that straight. I said that if it dropped back down to around 50 cents, I would take a look at it. It didn't. I didn't get it. Didn't get it. It bottomed out at 83 and then it had a run. So congrats. If you believed in it at 80 cents, I need to go debrief my own DD and look at some TA and see if I can decipher why it didn't go down as far as I thought. I was not doing a deep dive TA, just at a comfort level. 50 cents was where I thought that it seemed reasonable based on this pivot point here. But I need to run some actual TA and see what I missed here. So good little bounce. You guys already know my general thoughts on GNS. It's just a swing trade. You got to get in when it's cheap and get out before they dilute. No compelling reason to be a long-term holder of that stock. Finger continuing a little bit of red this morning. I like Finger close to $1. I don't know if it'll get there. Again, this is a money-losing company, so I'm not advocating that you buy it. It's a swing trade ticker, FNGR. It's still a little bit expensive for me, for my comfort level, but doesn't mean that it can't have a rally on good news. Just not at a point where I feel comfortable buying it. Kind of like when I was saying last week that I like GNS at 50 cents. I like Finger at about $1 for risk versus reward. However, will it get there? That is always the question. $1 to $1.20, kind of where I like it. Last rally in Finger was July 25th for 2 days. 2-day rally, and it's already back down. Will it go back down into the demand zone before the next rally? That's something to keep an eye on if you're playing money losing momentum stocks. I would advocate patience. Get the most risk-free entry you can, because these are very dangerous holds. G-Bucks getting absolutely spanked. Definitely not a company I'm recommending. We talked about the financials on G-Bucks yesterday. If you're listening to people telling you this is a great stock, I'm going to give you a couple things to go do your own DD on. Number one, just look at the volume. It's pathetic. Daily volume, 14,000 shares, 30,000 shares. I mean, this is a illiquid stock. Very easy to manipulate the price up or down, depending on who's showing up to trade that day. Very dangerous stock to trade until it's getting actively pumped, in which case you can make a lot of money. Look at these run-ups from 40 cents to 10 bucks. But we're not in that cycle right now. This company had, I think, net earnings last quarter of $10,000, if I'm not mistaken. No. Operating income of $10,000. Net earnings was a huge negative. $400,000 or something like that. And they're in default on a lot of their convertible debt. They're trying hard with the PR puff pieces. We're buying a gold company. Oh yeah, with what money? We're issuing a special dividend. Okay. A special dividend that is a warrant to enable you to buy more shares for, what was it, for $4? Yay. I don't know what people see in this to talk about it, but at some point they will find something. And if it takes another rally, pay attention for a day. Pay attention for a day or two. See if it can get them a nice 10x like this again. I mean, that's not a bad chart if you're on the green side. You gotta get out when the getting's good, though. Dave says, think AMC will need 9.5 box often to make any significant cash. That's in the ballpark of what I think too, Dave. AMC, going back to AMC. Don't forget, we have earnings on Monday, the 11th. 7, 8, 9. Yeah. I'll be streaming those live. We can talk about whatever the AMC Q2 earnings ends up being. I am not forecasting a positive quarter. I'd be happy with a break even. I'd be ecstatic if they do have a positive quarter. Why am I not forecasting positive? Not because I'm negative on the company, not because I'm negative on the quarter. It's just at that point where it's too damn hard to call. So I'm not making a call. I'm just going to say, please give us break even. A profit would be a bonus. I'll take it. We need it. All right, I want to look at JOBY real quick. What time are we at? We're at 9 o'clock. JOBY makes these pretty cool unmanned airplanes. They need more pictures. I always have this hope that, you know, one of these days, one of these companies will do really, really well, and we can catch the bottom, get an entry before it really, really catches fire. And maybe you had a chance to do that with Joby. $4 all of last year, 21 now. I guess I should have been more of a believer back then, but the financials got me scared. Basically a no revenue company. Let's look at what their presentation says. We talked about this briefly yesterday. They're commencing final assembly of their first type inspection authorization aircraft. Joby expects its pilots to start flying this aircraft in 2025. Oh, I thought it was unmanned. Maybe it is manned. It's just an electric VTOL. %70 complete on its side of stage 4 of FAA type certification program, more than 50% complete on the FAA side. 21 full transition flights completed in Dubai this summer to validate commercial readiness. I saw some of y'all when we were signing off yesterday saying you would never fly in a, I think I said unmanned aircraft. All right, if we modify the question, would you fly in a piloted EV aircraft? I mean, it does make me nervous a little bit. The company announced a new collab with L3Harris to develop a gas turbine hybrid variant of its existing aircraft to pursue low altitude defense opportunities. Interesting. Definitive agreement entered into to acquire Blade Air Mobility's passenger business, unlocking immediate market access and infrastructure across key urban corridors in New York and Southern Europe. Balance sheet ended the quarter with almost $1 billion in cash and short-term investments. Closed on first $250 million tranche of its previously announced $500 million strategic investment from Toyota. All right, let's look at some financials here real quick. I haven't looked at this one in a while. Dink, what's up? Joby Aviation. Looks like they don't have updated what I want to see on there. Let's check Edgar. We're always looking for something that gives us a little clue that we need to spend a day or two really doing a deep dive. So I do speed runs over a lot of these different tickers throughout my day, sometimes live right here with you guys. And just looking for that edge, looking for something that tells me you need to spend a day or two digging, or something that tells me, nope, not ready yet. Let's see what we got here. This is stretched out too much. That's what she said. I need to consolidate this to something easier to read. All right, current assets. $990 million. Total assets, 1.25. Total current assets, 1 million. Total assets, 1.2. Current liabilities, 58,000. Is that 5? In thousands, sorry. This is a billion. This is 580 million. Total liabilities, 361 million. Balance sheet's in good shape. Let's push down here. Revenue, basically nil. Total operating expenses for the quarter, 167 million. 331 million for the 6 months. Loss from operations, net loss, 324 million. We got a loss from change in fair value of warrants. That's, by the way, is where Quantum messed up. This gain or loss from change in fair value of warrants. They had their text over here backwards from what I was able to come up with. So net loss, operating expenses 167. Let's look at cash flow, operating cash. $217 million. Well, they got plenty of cash. If they're burning $217 million a quarter, they got enough to get them through what? 5 more quarters? How much dilution are they doing? There has been some. It's not the worst that I've ever seen. Let's make it an annual basis. This is why they're here. Don't forget, all of these companies, if they're not making money, they are here to raise money. What I want y'all to keep in the back of your mind as you're analyzing, do I have a profitable company here or do I have a cash burning company here? One is going to pay you dividends and buy back stock. The other is going to keep selling stock, raising money. Not anything bad about that. It just is. It's why they're there. It's what you need to recognize. So you have your head screwed on straight as you're deciding about your long-term buys and holds. Yeah, that is considerable dilution going back, looking back 5 years. 100 million up to 700 million. Ouch. But in the short term, stock's looking pretty. Let's zoom out. I mean, even with all that dilution, looking sharp. Maybe I do spend a little more time. The thing I really got to dream on, spend some brain cycles, is what is the revenue and profit potential of this if it ever becomes viable? And how long do I got to wait to get there? Because in the meantime, we're just in speculation land. And speculative charts can get wonky. They can have big run-ups. They can have big run-down. Anya's asking about BMNR. I am not, Anya. I don't know if I ever was in BMNR. Doesn't ring a bell, Anya, but you know, I'm old. Sometimes I forget shit. Did we talk about this stock on a live stream, or were we chatting about it in Discord? What I would say, Anya, is go back through the VIP where I post my trades and search for BMNR. I don't recall investing in this one, and I don't have any notes on my screen. Usually when I try and remember to put a note on here if I buy it on Webull, just as a visual reference. I know I don't have it in my portfolio right now. I don't know. All right. The other one I wanted to look at real quick while we're here, together as family, is DraftKings. Let me pull up the DraftKings chart. What a roller coaster, huh? All right, so that's what I'm seeing on the chart, just from the supply and demand zones. Heading back up here to the supply zone, down 0.5% this morning. Let's see what they had to say. Well, that's not bad. For the 3 months ending June 30th, 2025, DraftKings reported revenue of $1.5 billion, an increase of $400 million or 37% compared to the same period 2024. The increase in the company's second quarter 2025 revenue is driven primarily by continued healthy customer engagement, efficient acquisition of new customers, higher structural sportsbook hold percentage, and sportsbook-friendly outcomes. Adjusted EBITDA of $301 million in the second quarter set new records for the company. Maintaining fiscal year 2025 guidance with revenue expected to be closer to the high end of the range, highlighting the strength of the platform. Monthly unique players increased to 3.3 million average monthly, representing an increase of 6%. Do you guys think that, have y'all been reading that Las Vegas appears under pressure? Do you think that the online sports books like DraftKings contribute to the decline of Vegas? Or is the decline of Vegas being overhyped by the media? What do y'all think? Average revenue per monthly unique player increased to $151 in the second quarter of 2025, an increase of 29% compared to 2024. Guidance for the year. Scott, what's up? He says, I asked months ago if you knew any basket of funds that concentrate on seniors getting older. Nursing homes, funeral homes. I don't, Scott, but as the population ages, I like the angle that you're going with that. I'm just going to guess. I don't know. It's an interesting little niche to dig into. But I would guess that there's some private equity people sniffing around buying up nursing homes and funeral homes. It's not really an area I've dug into. Are there ETFs? I don't know. DraftKings is maintaining its fiscal year 2025 guidance of $6.2 billion to $6.4 billion. On track to deliver revenue closer to the high end of the range. We already said that. Maintaining fiscal year 2025 adjusted EBITDA of $800 to $900 million. All right, I want to check a couple of other things here real quick. Unlike some other channels, ladies and gentlemen, we do look at a lot of tickers on this channel. I strongly advocate you have a diversified portfolio. Do not invest all your money in one ticker. I think that is nonsense advice. Very dangerous advice. Works out beautiful if you're lucky enough that everything in that one ticker goes perfectly, but you have all your risk in one basket. I like different baskets. I like diversifying the risk. Look for the best ticker in the basket and have a bunch of different baskets in play. And if you are not willing to put in all the time to do that, then put your money in an index-based ETF. If you don't have the time to keep up with filings and understand financial statements, do not be gambling. Do not be gambling by buying stuff you don't understand and don't have time to keep up with. That's my general advice. Nothing wrong with index ETFs. Nothing wrong with it at all. But we like to try and beat them here. So I spend a lot of time looking at a lot of different companies, either riding momentum or trying to find something that I like that's been unfairly beaten down that I can hold for a few months or a year or two. Let's look at the income. I don't know. I don't understand why diversification hurts people's feelings. You must buy my one stock or you suck. Yeah, well, you suck. You and your plans to herd everybody into one risky stock. You suck. Gross margins on DraftKings, 39%. Operating and profit margins negative on trailing 12 months. Not a super fan here. I am not a super fan. One day when they can turn the corner to positive EPS, I bet you this thing takes off. They're on the way. This is maybe a stock to spend some time in and see if you have a story in your head based on your understanding of this sector and the company's direction, if you think that they can turn positive. You know what happens when these companies turn positive. Balance sheet, $1.2 billion. Cash, current assets, $1.8. Current liabilities, 1.3. Total assets, 4.5. Total liabilities, 3.4. Balance sheet's in decent shape. Operating cash flow, positive. Something. Oh, yeah. All right. My eyes were playing tricks on me there for a second. Dink gave you a couple of ETFs there, Scott. Aging, old, and aged. Are those for real, Dink? That is hilarious. Operating cash flow positive the past 2 quarters. Looks like they recycled some of their debt. I see debt being repaid and new debt issued. Yeah, not quite there for me yet, DKNG. I keep on wanting to go in on this company, but it's not quite there. I gotta see a compelling story that they're about to turn positive, or maybe I like it down here in this demand zone. I'm gonna put a alert at 32 bucks. 33. Let me know, wake me up when we're below 33 bucks, DKNG. Doesn't mean that we're going to get it. Doesn't mean, hey, a lot of times I put alerts down there and it never goes back down. It only goes up. I'm just saying, based on what I see right now, I'm not ready to pile in at 45 bucks. But I might give her a shot if she retraces down to this demand zone. Remember, we are professional bottom fishers here, looking for the least expensive entry, the least risky entry. Sometimes you got to go through a lot of tickers to find the right one. The other thing that you could do opposite of that is just play momentum tickers. I like doing that too. Whatever's running that day, whatever's running that week. Speaking of runners, let's check on GNS and Quantum one last time before we finish up this day. JOBY down 5%, Lily down 14%. Should we talk about Lily before we finish up here? Maybe we should. But Quantum up 11%, Genius down 3%, GME up 1%. Let's look at Lily. I don't want to leave you hanging. I'm kind of curious myself. Lily. They raised guidance. Revenue increased 38% to $15.5 billion. Q2 earnings per share increased 92% to $6.29. All right, I want to just do a quick check. What were analysts expecting? It looks like a beat on both. Must have been what, the forward guidance? No, they raised forward guidance. Why is Lily getting beaten up? Who's already done your homework? I'm just here looking at it for the first time this morning. Come on, man. LLY, Tony. Or Forglipron results weigh on the stock. Is that it? Less than stellar results from a study on an experimental anti-obesity pill is what investors are focusing on. The results, most recent results showed it helped people lose up to 12% of their body weight after more than a year of treatment, which fell short of analysts' predictions of between 13 and 15%. Wow. Well, that's quite a spanking for missing by that small of a percentage on what expectations of this drug results were. Quite a spanking. Just as an aside, though, I see y'all in the chat talking about the weight loss drugs and injections and stuff. These people under this Lilly trial lost 12% of their body weight over a year. I mean, you could do that without drugs just by cleaning up your diet a little bit. Stop drinking empty calories from alcohol and soda. Cut back on fast food, cut back on packaged food. Learn to eat a little bit healthier. You watch that 10, 12, 15% body fat, body weight melt off. It just takes a little bit of willpower. Something a lot of people don't have these days, I think. I can't imagine taking a drug to lose weight. I could get behind it for someone that is like morbidly obese, cannot control themselves under the supervision of a medical professional and a nutritionist who gets them on a good plan. Do some injections for a couple months to give yourself a jump start. But the way to sustain that is you got to eat right. You got to eat right. People want a quick fix on you. Yep. All this food talk's making me hungry on you. About time for me to go make some breakfast. On a non-GAAP basis, gross margin for Lilly increased 43% to $13.2 billion. Let's just look at some of their stats here real quick as we wrap up. Operating income, $7 billion. These are the type of charts that we like on this channel. Revenue up and to the right. Operating income up and to the right. Again, I'm going to say it every single time. Just because we like it doesn't mean that you go in and buy it on that day. You still have to look at the trajectory of the company. No one wants to buy at the top, even on a perfect company, when you're thinking about a market crash or things are kind of getting a little bit overbought. You want to analyze these companies and then decide where is a good entry for yourself. Net income up and to the right. Earnings per share, beautiful. Operating margins to die for. 84% gross margin, 45% operating margin, 36% profit margin. What's not to like? Cash flow, operating cash flow, $1.6 billion positive. Free cash flow growth, negative 13%. What are they spending their money on? What are they spending their money on? CapEx. Short-term debt repaid. All right. Repurchase of common stock. Dividends. All right. Those are all legit things. It's important when you see maybe a cash flow, free cash flow that you're not in love with, to go then look at a couple of other things. Where did the cash go? Common dividends paid, 1.3 billion. Repurchase of common stock, 1.2 billion. Repaying debt, 1.8 billion. Kind of like what we saw on Apple. People making videos saying the company's losing money because their cash is going down. Look, if the company is doing smart things, paying dividends, rebuying stock, paying off debt, I got no problem with cash going down, especially when they're bringing in a metric ton of cash per quarter. And that's all I got to say about that. Forecast from analyst on Lilly. Whoa, $1,000, 58% increase in the stock price over the next year. Ladies and gentlemen of the Discord, this is one we need to spend a little more time on, especially on a 14% rundown today. $1,000 price target. Now, granted, based on today's results, analysts might in the next week lower that price target, but still, I mean, that's a pretty juicy return on a pretty solid company, I'm thinking. I don't know what y'all think, but that looks pretty sweet to me. Even if we reduced our price target to $900 on a solid company like this, not too shabby. Something to think about, ladies and gentlemen. You know, you can choose to invest in profitable companies. Just something to think about. All right, I'm going to go make some breakfast. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I'll be chatting with you in the Discord throughout the day, and we will see what we can drum up in terms of evening live streams, new guests, new tickers to talk about in our ever-expanding world of looking for diversification. And again, I'm sorry if diversification hurts your feelings. I really got to question the sanity of people who only invest in one ticker. You do you. I'm not going to make videos calling you names or denigrating your family and your ancestors. But I am going to say, man, you and your audience, you're setting them up. And I pray to the gods, both old and new, that it works out your way if you're investing everything in one ticker. Nothing wrong with diversification, ladies and gentlemen. It is the foundation of intelligent risk management. And with that, I bid you good morning. I bid you adieu, and we will see you on the next one.
A red candle down by the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long, Edgy's rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down by the dip, gotta hold our ground. Edgy's gains are dead and gone, fuck the shorts, we're going long. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, buy a share. A green candle up, a red candle down by the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long, Edgy's rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down by the dip, gotta hold our ground. Edgy's gains are dead and gone, fuck the shorts, we're going long. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, buy a share. A green candle up, a red candle down by the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long, Edgy's rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down by the dip, gotta hold our ground. Edgy's gains are dead and gone, but the shorts, we're going long. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, buy a share. Red candle down by the dip, gotta hold our ground. Edgy's gains are dead and gone. GameStop's rise is going strong. If you doubt it, sit and stare. If you love it, show you care. A green candle up, a red candle down. fix it instead. If you love it,